What is up? Dynasty Life Fantasy Football here. Your boy Steve with the hammer.
It is indeed the Polish Hammer in the house, ready to kick ass and take names.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna do a review of the games that happen as we're kind of watching the games now, as well as I guess maybe some waiver guys that you can look at going into next week. So let's start with the Jets and the Browns. That was kind of crazy.
That was what the fuck.
Uh,
Nobody had that. Nobody had that.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, tell me what you think.
You know what I think? This fucking bull jive is what I think it was. A lot of people. I was watching some sports, stuff this morning, and a lot of people were trying to say Nick Chubb shouldn't have scored that last touchdown. And while the hindsight is always going to be 2020, you got to look at it and say, listen, you're right there. You score, you're up 14 with under 2 minutes, whatever the case may be. Literally everything had to go right. It kind of reminded me of that Seattle Green Bay NFC Championship game from 2014, where you get the touchdown, you get the onside kick, you get the deep play. It's just everything had to line up right for the Jets. You give some credit to Joe Flacco and company because they looked dead in the water for much of that game. Garrett Wilson was massive. I think he's he could be emerging and be somebody that you definitely take a look at. I don't know how good Joe Flacco is going to be on a week-to-week basis, but definitely take a look at Garrett Wilson. Nick Chubb, massive 3 touchdowns. So, overall, pretty much what you expected from the Browns. Kareem Hunt, not so much, but I think you could kind of expect them to alternate in terms of ride the hot hand. So, the result of the game was just ridiculous, but I guess the biggest takeaway is the Jets kind of, finding some offensive prowess and everything falling right for them.
Yeah, I mean, I was going against Brissett, Amari Cooper, and Peoples Jones actually.
Amari Cooper had a nice game. Yeah.
And Amari Cooper, had a nice game, 9 for 101, and it's like, okay, 10 targets with Jacoby Brissett, and it's like, okay, hey, so that's what you want if you drafted, Amari Cooper, so that's good. But yeah, you were talking about Hunt. I mean, Hunt had 13 carries, and he had 2 receptions, so he got 15 touches,
which you'll sign up for,
compared to Chubb's 20. So I mean, he got plenty of opportunities. I mean, the difference was he just didn't get in the end zone like week one. Week one he found the end zone twice. This week he just didn't find the end zone, but he's still being productive and
utilized. Let me ask you a quick question on that. Right. Say you own both of those guys. Are you playing them?
Who?
Hunt and Chubb. Are you playing them at the same time every single week?
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, yeah, you have no choice. If you drafted both, I mean, what better option do you have to put in the flex? I mean, I guess it all depends on how deep the league is and who you have on your bench, but Hunt could be, either your number 2 running back or in the flex. So, it kind of all depends. But either way, yeah, I mean, I think you've got to play him. Obviously, 2 touchdowns the first week, and now he's still getting work. I mean, 15 touches is, you'll take that in the flex position or in your RB2 position. So
especially with
he gets high value touches. Is the other point. He gets a lot of goal line, a lot of red zone, third down. Like Chubb ain't really catching the ball like that, even though he did have 3 catches. They're looking to use Hunt in those, passing situations. Yeah. So
that's always one of those tricky situations. I'm in a similar situation with the Jacksonville backfield, but we'll touch on that when we get to that game.
Yeah. I mean, Joku 3 for 32. I guess he was all right. Peoples Jones 1 target. I mean, not worth.
I was actually looking at that. That was a little disappointing out of him.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the Jets. Like you said, Flacco. I mean, he's not a guy that you're trying to pick up. I mean, no matter how deep the league is, 14 team, even 16,
even in a 2 quarterback league, I don't think you're looking at Joe Flacco.
You're not looking to pick up Joe Flacco. Yeah.
Unless you're desperate. I will say though, we had a Trey Lance injury over the weekend. So that might, open up a situation where if you're desperate in a 2 quarterback league, you kind of might have to look at Joe Flacco for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on Garrett Wilson, obviously awesome game. So now it's like, okay, is he really the number one? Like, again, Wilson is not in, so is it going to be a little bit different once he comes in as well?
Right.
So it's kind of hard to tell really at this point, what's going to happen. But Tyler Conklin, I think, is a good pickup this week if you don't have a tight end. I mean, 9 targets for Conklin, 6 for 40. So I like
Also, too, though,
I like Conklin. Go ahead.
also too, take into account the game script, right? We talk about that all the time. That's a massive deal when you're talking about fantasy production. And the Jets were down big, and Joe Flacco had to sling it all over the lot. And the beneficiary are going to be those pass catchers, those Garrett Wilsons, those Corey Davis had a massive day when you look at it, from the final stat line.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fair thing to say is they're more than likely to be in a negative game script, regardless. So, here's Patrick tuning in. Patrick, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining us.
There he is. we gotta get him on. We gotta give him a little tag as a regular. Just have him slotted in there. What's up, man?
But all right, so that's kind of the wide receiver room. Like I said, you kind of don't know, who really it's going to be once Wilson comes back.
Yeah.
And now for the backfield, I mean, finally we saw Breece's pieces fucking give us a nice
that was nice.
Give us a real nice run, and then had the receiving touchdown. So that was really good to see. I mean, 7 carries for him, 7 carries for Hall, and then like you said, negative game script. I mean, Michael Carter still had 5 targets to Breece's Hall 1, but the 1 was a touchdown. But I think now we're going to start to see where it's going to be starting to be getting hard to keep him off the field if he keeps having plays like that. So that was nice to see. But other than that, I don't think anybody really is worth picking up from the Jets there. I mean, Carter and Hall are still kind of both kind of flex plays, I guess, in deeper leagues. So
for sure.
And then we both, of course, picked Cleveland in this game, so we both took an L there.
That looked good for a while.
Yeah, it did look good for a while. All right, moving on to the next one is Washington and Detroit. Now, you changed your mind to Detroit afterwards. I was going with Detroit from the jump. Originally, you wanted Washington. So tell me why you wound up going with Detroit, and tell me about the game. And my guy Amon-Ra. Go ahead.
You just had to slip that in there because we're going to talk about him regardless. But no, with the Detroit Lions, I liked what I saw out of the Detroit Lions in Week 1 against Philly. They were down by a boatload, and you could say, listen, if you're down, it's kind of garbage time and fool's gold. But I think I like their makeup as a team, and it starts with their head coach. So I figure Detroit at home, they have really good skill position players. That's just the bottom line. And if Jared Goff can get the ball to those guys, they're gonna put up points, and they're gonna win some games. I think they're gonna surprise some people this year. So they have all the makings of one of those kind of teams on the rise type of deal. Amon-Ra's obviously developed into a tremendous go-to wide receiver. It's going to be interesting to see when Jamison Williams comes in there, but I already think the rapport has been developed between those guys, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams to a little bit of a lesser degree. You got Hawkinson, you got DJ Shark, so there's plenty of offense there, and Jared Goff is capable of getting them the ball, and he has been the last 2 weeks. They put up 30+ in back-to-back weeks, so that'll get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it since last year about Amon-Ra, and a lot of people hated, and Swift wasn't there, and Hawkinson wasn't there, and here we are, week 2, and St. Brown has still got 9-10 catches. He's still got 11-12 targets, both games.
Yep.
So he obviously came up big, and then had a big rushing attempt as well. But other than Hawkinson, I mean, the next closest guy, Hawkinson had 7 targets. Like, that's it. I mean, Swift was after that. Swift, I think he didn't play as much because of that ankle injury, and then they were just up, so they kind of just took him out. So he's not getting hurt even more, of course. That's why he had Jamal Williams run a little bit more. But Swift looks awesome. Again, another guy that I have in a bunch of leagues. So, excited about that. Jamal Williams, of course, if he's not rostered, pick him up. I'm pretty sure he's pretty
Yeah,
much
for sure.
rostered.
Definitely pick him
Got to
up.
be rostered in most leagues here. There's nobody we're looking at wide receiver wise. Goff is a good pickup if you need a guy to fill in for a week.
Or two
QB leagues.
Yeah.
And Patrick, I'll get to you in a second here. Let's just we'll finish off this game real quick. But all right, Washington, Wentz. I mean, fucking look good. I don't know what to think. I don't know.
So really quick on Carson Wentz in your home league redraft, one quarterback. Dak Prescott went down for me in week 1. So obviously I was in the market looking for Jalen Hurts hits Quez Watkins on a bomb.
Yeah, I saw.
Man. Philly 14, Vikings 0. So those picks we'll circle around to that, but something crazy will happen in the fourth quarter. But getting back to Carson Wentz, yeah, man, I had to pick up a quarterback. There were definitely a ton of options out there: Baker Mayfield, Marcus Mariota, Jared Goff. I picked up Carson Wentz, and it didn't look good in the first half, and they were in a negative game script as well. So Carson Wentz was throwing it all over the lot. And he rewarded me with 36 points in our particular league. With our scoring, we get a bonus. So Carson Wentz was tremendous. Terry McLaurin was good. Jahan Dotson, we were talking about this in the group chat. You got to think about getting him closing in on that flex. Curtis Samuel back at it. So they're using Curtis Samuel as a guy.
Is Curtis Samuel the Debo of the fucking Commanders? Like
that's what it appears to be, But I'm not saying rush to put him in your lineup, but 2 weeks is starting to become a little bit of a trend here. And if Carson Wentz is going to spread the ball around, and they're going to be down by 14, 20 points every game, there's going to be points and touchdowns and catches and all that good stuff to be had. So definitely roster Curtis Samuel if he's not already rostered. And yeah,
but that's the thing. Is this what we're gonna see every week, or is it just because they were down? I mean, I'm sure they don't want Carson Wentz throwing the ball fucking 46 times. Like
no, but also too, you have to look at it from the standpoint of I'm not saying rush to put him in your lineup, but he's definitely on the radar now. 2 good games starts to back-to-back games, and if he does it for a third week, you gotta, as much as it's Curtis Samuel and we haven't seen anything out of him for quite some time, you got to start to be realistic as a manager and say, all right, I'll pick him up, I'll put him on my bench, and if I find myself in a pinch, if I find myself with any injuries, he has the opportunities are being presented to him, and if he's going to be my flex on a bye week, or if I have a last minute injury, you could feel comfortable with getting him in there and he could pay dividends.
Yeah, definitely. I just don't know if he's going to continue like that.
I get it.
You still have Terry there, and then you've got Dotson, who were just, I guess, flat out better wide receivers. Maybe Samuel's a better athlete all around.
He's a gadget guy, yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to consistently see more targets than all of these other two.
No, I don't think so. And like I said, he's not a guy that I'm in a rush to put in my lineup. But if you got a roster spot and you got a guy that's maybe just barely hanging on, he's worth a look.
I mean, I think if I have him, I'm putting him in the flex. Or I'm just finding somewhere to play him. I think you have to almost at this point, but. How much longer is that going to continue? Like, I have Dotson on my bench, and I just don't like that he's got 5 targets in both games, but he's got touchdowns, and obviously that's not going to keep continuing going forward. But I'm like, damn, and now I'm going to plug him in this week, and he's not going to score a touchdown. He's going to give me 3 points.
Yeah, that's always the risk.
Damn, but other than that, I mean, Lance Thomas had a touchdown. I told somebody to play Conklin instead of Thomas. I mean, so they wound up with. I mean. It was still close, but Thomas came up with a couple more points, obviously, with the touchdown. But
yeah, so for me, Logan Thomas is going to be one of those guys to take a peek at as well at tight end. Obviously, we know it's an extremely shallow position. So at the tight end spot, I'm actually considering picking up Logan Thomas. I actually have Cole Kmet in one of my leagues, and he's giving me back-to-back zeros. Now,
you can't play any fucking bear. I have Mooney in one league, and I drafted him.
I put
real
Mooney on
late.
my
I
bench.
drafted him kind of late, but as like my wide receiver too, because I went like heavy RB, and it's just fucking killing me. And I don't understand what they're doing on offense. I mean, the
Yeah,
guy had 70 yards passing. Fields had yesterday. I mean,
it's not good.
I don't know what the
I
fuck they're
think
doing.
I think eventually Mooney will get it going, but a guy like Cole Kmet, who is not the focus of a bad offense,
Yeah.
I'm obviously less worried about Mooney. While I'm still concerned, I actually took Mooney out of my lineup in a league, and I benched him, and I put I forgot who I put in there, but I had somebody in my flex position who actually paid dividends for me, as opposed to having Mooney in there. So that was a good call in terms of the sit by Mooney, but that Bears looks really bad. So I'm picking up Logan Thomas, or I'm at least taking a look. If you got a tight end, if you're, George Kittle is out, if Cole Kmet's in there and he's not producing, I'm in both of those situations. You got to give Logan Thomas a look.
Well, that's the thing. I actually need a tight end because I have Schultz, and it looks like he's hurt. And so I'm looking to try and pick up Conklin. I just like the opportunities that's there so far.
The only issue I have with Logan Thomas is he's constantly injured. So you don't want to get into a situation where you pick him up, you play him.
Is that Diggs again?
Yeah, it is. Jesus Christ. Yep, it is. And I'm about to be toast in your league. Diggs is Josh Allen's absolutely killing me. I'm only up by 15. Hopefully they just blow the doors off Tennessee so much that I can hold on to this lead, but it's not looking good. That was Diggs again.
Yeah, I'm down by fucking 15 now. There's no way. Because Diggs has 32. I mean, what the fuck, bro? I mean, come on, dude. What the fuck? All right. Anyway, that's just bullshit. I'm not even gonna think about that shit now. All right, Gibson had the touchdown. Didn't really do anything outside of that. Robinson's gonna be back soon, so sell Gibby if you got him now, because he's not gonna be getting the same kind of work. All right, Bucks and Saints. Okay, we split this one. I went with Tampa. You went with New Orleans.
Yeah,
and I mean, Tampa didn't look great either, but they wound up pulling out the win. But before we get into that, quick, let me get up with Patrick on this real quick. You got lucky this week. Pitts did nothing. Cleveland's D was a joke. Yes. Big four playing. I got an easy win. Lance went down. Yeah, Lance had an unfortunate injury, and I'm sure the 49ers are thanking everybody who said to keep Jimmy and not get rid of him, because they still have a chance to at least to compete and go.
He's another waiver wire quarterback pickup. If you're
Winston on his bench, has Dalvin Cook right now, and he only scored like 70 points, so it's going to be a win anyway, but easy win. Yeah, boom,
Vikings looking to take it in.
Yeah, we're trying to take it in here. All right, so yeah, Saints and Bucks. Mike Evans suspended now, so we got to look for somebody. Look at Russell Gage is going to be very interesting. Julio Jones wasn't healthy, obviously, to play. Maybe he comes back this week. But yeah, Julio and is going to be a good play this week if he winds up playing. And then Perryman, I think actually Patrick had mentioned Perryman. Perryman, I think, had a play, and then he had a play taken away or something like that. There's Kirk Cousins too. Is that my boy Irv? That's my guy Irv Smith, ain't it? He's back. He's back. I don't need that though. I need Dalvin Cook, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's Kirk Cousins for me in the
I'll take it.
League, so that's good.
But I'll take it. Yeah, so Brady, I mean, look horrible. 190 yards, 1 touchdown. He's not looking good. Fournette, 24 carries, 65 yards, didn't do jack. I mean, Evans, 3 for 61. Perryman, 3 for 45 with the touchdown. I mean, he looked the best. So shout out to you, Patrick, for pulling out Perryman. But, he was just not – you just can't take the chance on playing him. Now, maybe this week, maybe you can take the chance on playing him this week. With Evans out, you've got Perryman, Gage, and Julio or hurt Julio. So, yeah, Perryman would be a good play for this week coming up. He'd be a good guy to pick up. Nothing really much else to say about the Bucks, but moving over to the Saints, obviously Kamara was out. Hopefully he's back this week, whoever has Kamara. I've always stayed away from Kamara for whatever reason, but I mean, Ingram had a couple had a good run or two.
Yeah, Ingram, I thought he would be a little more involved, but they had like kind of a.
No.
It was just a bad offensive game all the way around, and I kind of figured that because they both have good defenses and right on schedule. Jameis Winston coughing it up, so um, yeah, that was just a bad game to have any of
Scotty
those.
Miller, that's right. I forgot about Scotty Miller.
And
Yeah,
I think Tom Brady trusts him, so I think that's a good call.
Scotty had 8 catches. I mean, 8 catches, 8 targets. So actually led the team in targets. So yeah, Scotty actually might be the best play there. Um, I
And Tom
never
Brady trusts
ever
him.
have trusted Gage. I never trusted Gage, but yeah, Scotty Miller's a guy that Tom Brady does trust. So I think Miller and Perryman will be nice plays next week. I'm not trusting Julio at that age. I wouldn't even put him on my team, but
Bro, all it
yeah,
takes is
Scotty Miller actually might be the best play there. I messed over
I
that.
would agree because all it takes is one hit to Julio Jones and he could be out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and then moving over to New Orleans, I mean, Olave still fucking
He was
Olave
good.
looks good.
He looked
I
great.
mean, 13 targets. Olave looks awesome. Mike Thomas 6 for 65 and his little bully touchdown again. Um, Landry not as much this game, only 5 targets.
That was a little
But,
disappointing for
I
me.
mean,
I had him
it's gonna fluctuate. I mean, I don't know. There's nobody else really there. I was saying don't even play Ingram because you just don't know.
No, I wouldn't have had too much confidence in Ingram unless it's one of those like super deep leagues. Remember, we had a 20-team league. We were doing a question on a guy with a 20-team league. So, if you're going that deep, maybe. But anything in the 12-14 team range, you're not looking at Mark Ingram.
Yeah. So Giants and Carolina, we both picked Carolina. I believe.
No,
you picked the Giants. You really did pick the Giants over Carolina. So yeah, you got me on that one. But yeah, talk about I guess the Giants. I mean, Saquon didn't do much.
No.
But, yeah.
Saquon didn't do what I thought he was going to do, and that's even more surprising that the Giants won and Saquon wasn't what he was in Week 1. So overall, I think the Giants defense, and I told you this, the Giants defense a little underrated. So they kept the game close, and I think in most games they want to kind of keep the score under 21. If they could do that, I think they have a really good chance. Obviously, Saquon is tremendous. So yeah, I was a little more disappointed in Carolina than anything, and I just don't trust Baker Mayfield, bro. I don't. I know McCaffrey went over 100, but getting back to the Giants, I think their defense held it together and they made just enough plays. I really, it was more of an indictment on Baker Mayfield is the reason why I picked the Giants on that one.
Yeah, I mean, 14 of 29, only 145 yards. So I mean, he wasn't looking great at all. But again, it's a game the Giants shouldn't have won. Like, 2 weeks in a row, the Giants win, and it feels like they shouldn't have won. But it is what it is. DJ Moore 3 for 43. I mean, led the team with 6 targets. It wasn't much, but I don't know. I don't know what to think. He had the touchdown to save the day, but he worries me a little bit. But at the same time, I'm like, Baker, just stop fucking around. Just start unleashing it. Start unleashing it. He's the only guy there.
I think they're scared to unleash it because if you start doing that with Baker Mayfield, he's gonna get, trigger happy, and that's when the turnovers start happening.
I don't care. I really don't care about the turnovers. I don't care about the Panthers. I just need DJ Moore to do work. That's it. I care.
Understand, but that's probably what Carolina's thinking. Is that if we start having Baker throw it 40 times, you're going to see multiple interceptions.
You don't necessarily have to throw it 40 times. I mean, he threw it 29. I mean, you're fine if he throws it 30. He could throw it 30, 35 times maybe, but make it. Just control. Obviously, what the plays are. If he's getting the ball to McCaffrey, I mean, I don't know. It
doesn't feel right. It feels like they should be better.
Yeah, it does.
That's the bottom line.
But yeah, I don't think. Hold on, let me see who else was there. Was that Shea Smith? He had 6 targets, but that ain't nothing happening. Robbie Anderson, of course, is going to be hit or miss, but there ain't nobody else worth talking about
Nope.
on the Panthers there. or the Giants for that matter. Tony garbage. I mean, nothing. 3
No,
targets. I mean, I've been saying stop messing around with Tony. He's got
stop
to show
messing around
something
with
before you
Giants
ever
receivers in
play him.
general.
Yeah, I mean, Richie James is the guy you want right now, which is kind of crazy, but
That's not saying much.
no. All right, Pats and Steelers. We both
Yeah, we have
went
done this one.
Pittsburgh here, and New England went. I don't know. New England is so bad. I don't know how they went. Like year in and year out, they wound up just winning fucking games.
Yeah, that one really the play of the game there was that deep pass down the sideline where who was it? Was it Nelson Aguilar?
Aguilar just kind of mossed that dude.
Yeah, that was the difference in the game. I figured that was going to be a low scoring game. I know TJ Watt was out, but I just didn't like what I saw from New England's offense, and that kind of continued. So, it is what it is at the end of the day. And, a 3-point loss doesn't surprise me. I just thought it would be the other way.
Yeah, so I mean, Aguilar, had obviously the big catch, but Jacoby Myers with 13 targets, 9 for 95. I didn't see that coming. So,
yeah,
if he's available, you can pick him up. It looks like Mac Jones is leaning on him.
And also, too, Mac Jones is a short to intermediate guy. I know we saw the deep pass to Aguilar, but that's going to be few and far between. So if you could get Jacoby Myers giving you, double-digit targets, hauling in maybe 7, 8 passes on a fairly consistent basis, there could be some flex value there.
Yeah, I just don't think it'll be consistent. That's the problem.
I don't think so either, but people get desperate, man. As the season wears on, the injuries kick in, bye weeks, I'm sure Jacoby Myers will find himself in some lineups.
So Damian Harris, 15 carries and a touchdown. He got hurt. And then he got hurt. What happened that he got hurt?
I wasn't. Hold on, because I looked at it and he got hurt, but I wasn't.
It doesn't say anything, right?
It says Damian Harris.
Him, bro.
Yeah, I do, and it says leg, and then there's really no. It just says leg. I don't know. Yeah, he says after the game it says he wasn't injured, so you really and you know how the Patriots are with injuries. They're never gonna say shit until it's the last minute, till it's the 23rd hour. So you kind of really just got to keep an eye on his injury report as the week goes on. I'm pretty sure tomorrow or Wednesday, you could keep your eyes on his injury status. But I considered putting him in my flex, but he might be a flex play for me over Jarvis Landry going down the stretch. But you definitely got to have him at least on a roster, and he's an RB that can be productive. So.
Yeah, once Harris got hurt, I was excited because I have Stevenson on a few teams, like just lurking on my bench, waiting to pounce. But then Ty Montgomery got hurt, so I didn't. I think I had to play Stevenson in maybe one of my leagues, one of my deeper leagues. But obviously, he's going to get the ball now a lot too, so he's in that kind of flex as well, and he catches the football. So
yeah.
Even in a negative game script, Stevenson can be a good play, where that could be the opposite, obviously, for Harris. And then, the Steelers, Najee, was injured. He's not injured. He's good. 15 carries, 49 yards, just absolutely garbage. But 6 targets, 5 for 40. So, he's doing all right. He's chugging along. The offense is just not it's not explosive. They're not. They're just squeaking by. And Tomlin is a good coach, and Steelers are kind of doing their thing. But Trubisky just has to do what he's asked, just manage the game and don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, they're not going to be a high volume offense anyway. Deontay Johnson had double digit targets, so that's still something to keep an eye on. He's definitely in the flex consideration as well. Not somebody I would play.
Playing, and whoever, if you drafted him, you're playing him at where you drafted him in that fourth, pretty much maybe 4th round or so, depending on your league. So that a lot of people were worried about Deontay in the offense, but it looks like he's still getting the target. So
your boy Freiermuth really good. Got the
Baby
touchdown.
Gronk.
So
Baby Gronk.
he followed up a 5 for 75 with a 4-catch performance on 7 targets, but he got the touchdown, and that's really what you're looking for. So I think down by the goal line, obviously he's a big target. So, and especially with a guy like Trubisky that can extend the play a little bit. Freiermuth is definitely should be in your starting lineup at the tight end spot.
Yeah, I think just Najee, Deontay, and Freiermuth are the only guys really worth starting.
Yep,
And there's nobody really worth picking up. If you got Najee, obviously you've probably got Jalen Warren, or you should have him, or else somebody's got him. But yeah, Claypool and Pickens, I'm not playing.
You can't right now
ever until you can kind of see something. But all right, Colts and Jags. Another one. You went with the Jags on this, and the Jags looked good, and Indianapolis looked.
I told you.
And Matt Ryan looked like shit. And
right. It was a wipeout.
It was just bad, like all around. I'm 0 points. I mean,
that's brutal, dude. I mean, listen, they had no Michael Pittman, no Alec Pierce.
That's true, but
but they didn't look good in the first game. Pittman looked good, but other than that, the offense as a whole didn't look, tremendous. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor looked good too, but that was a tie, obviously, in the first game. I think the Colts played Houston to a tie in the first game, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But yeah, Jacksonville, I told you, dude, they have a much improved offense, and Trevor Lawrence has developed into at least a steady presence where he's going to give you good production. So Trevor Lawrence, definitely worth a look. James Robinson, another touchdown. Not as efficient on the ground as you would like, but James Robinson, 64 yards and a touchdown. ETN still got the passing work, even though he was a little disappointing in terms of the final production points. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you shaking your head. Are you watching that Vikings game?
Yeah, fucking incomplete pass on third down. He's fucking trying to, like, throw it into tight coverage to Irv Smith. Like, what?
It looks like the
third and 2. Just hand the ball off, bro.
It looks like the Bills are wiping the floor with Tennessee as we expected. So hopefully that.
I need Tennessee to score so that Josh Allen could throw a touchdown to somebody else.
No, I don't need any more Josh.
Try and get me back in this fucking game because this is bullshit.
I don't need any more.
But all right, so yeah, the Jags. I mean, what the Jags told us, what their coaching staff has told us now is okay. James Robinson is the fucking first and second down guy, pretty much. Yep.
And ETN is the third down guy. Yep.
And ETN is the third down and passing down guy. And he's still, of course, going to get his rushes too. But that's fine. I'll take the 10. If you get 10 carries a game from ETN and another, a good amount of targets in the passing game and he's out there, then, you'll take it, I guess. But, so yeah, they've shown that James Robinson is still the guy. I still don't trust him, though. I don't trust that injury still. Even though he looks good coming back. He doesn't look like crazy. I don't know. He doesn't look crazy, like shifty or explosive or anything. He kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of like CEH. Like he's not like shifty or crazy, making guys miss. He just kind of waddles himself out there and scores. And
all you got to do is find the end zone, bro. Find the end zone.
I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So Kirk again, 2 touchdowns. I mean, 6 targets this week, but 2 touchdowns. Evan Ingram's a little kind of sleeping tight end, maybe with his 8 targets, 7 catches this week. So he looked actually good for once. I don't think he dropped any passes, but
that's cool.
But yeah, that's Jacksonville. On the Colts, I mean, Doolin led the team with 7 targets, 5 for 79, not much. I advise just to not start anybody. I mean, it wasn't worth, unless you're in the deepest of deep, or have some crazy injuries. I mean, but Hines another 5 targets in the receiving game. Jonathan Taylor did jack. 9 for 54. I mean,
that's not
obviously they were down.
101.
Obviously they were down, and that's the thing. The negative game script fucking hurts you if you're a Taylor owner. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Dolphins and Ravens.
Ooh, I had the Dolphins. Yes, I did.
Yeah, we both had the Dolphins. Yeah, both had the Dolphins here. I told you I didn't like Baltimore secondary. We were saying it all along.
I know.
We love the matchups for Waddle.
We got a lot of Waddle questions.
And we had a lot of questions about Waddle. And if you listened and you played Waddle, you were fucking happy, and you're welcome. We don't always get it right, but we got that one right.
Big time. Big time. I think there was one because I rewatched the. I'm very weird, so I go back the next day and rewatch our videos because I rewatch all of them because I'm bored and I'm at home and I'm analyzing myself and seeing what I can do better. And there was one that I took. I think I took Cooks over Waddle in one of the questions. I mainly took Waddle in a lot of those, if kind of deals. But I did have a Cooks over Waddle, so I missed on that one. But mainly Waddle, he's really good. I think the biggest takeaway here is Tua.
I've been saying it like he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes. He's just got to be good enough. And I mean, obviously, he played fucking lights out in the fourth quarter at least. But
you'll take it. You'll take that stat line when it's all said and done, close to 500 yards and 6
touchdowns. But he looked comfortable, and just the way the offense is, what they want to do, and what they have, and Cheetah and Waddle, it just kind of it fits just good, like it fits perfect, like you know. And he looked really good. Obviously, Cheetah and Waddle both 11 catches, 171 and 190, 19 targets for Waddle is what really kind of jumps out. Because Cheetah had 13 targets, still had 11 catches, but Waddle, 19 targets. I mean,
well, also too, and we're going to see this a lot. But they were down by 21 at one point, so they had to throw it on almost every down. Chase Edmonds was pretty good in this game as well. He had his moments. Mike Gesicki got into the action with just a ridiculous jump catch touchdown in the end zone, and then he tried to do the gritty. I advise you, if you want to do the gritty, do not do what Mike Gesicki did after that. But yeah, so everybody really got into the action from an offensive standpoint for Miami.
Let me ask you about Gesicki real quick before you keep going.
Yep.
Are you starting Gesicki? Are you picking up Gesicki? Are you playing Gesicki?
Well, not because I want to, but maybe because I have to, right? If you're
I think anybody's better than Gesicki.
I understand, but hear me out, right? George Kittle, a top tight end, out.
And I say Conklin.
That's fine, and I can't,
Or Evan Ingram.
No, thank you. I'm not taking Evan Ingram. I'm not gonna overreact because Mike Gesicki had a touchdown, but he's definitely worth consideration at a position that's very shallow to begin with, and into Buffalo D.
Yeah,
Christ, I don't need any more Josh Allen.
I do.
Plus the injuries, right? A Schultz injury, a Cole Kmet who's not producing. So, tight end is getting even more shallow as we speak. So, Mike Gesicki, while I'm not saying pick him up and put him in, give him a look, depending if you like the matchup. A lot of people are going to be excited about 2 or 6 touchdowns and say, all right, maybe Gesicki can get some more action. But, yeah, Tua looked really good, man. So, if Tua's going to continue to just unload like that, I don't think they're going to be down by 21 every single game. But Gesicki is definitely worth a look in a very shallow position. That's the injuries are piling up.
Yeah, I think I just like the other options that are out there, like I mentioned. Because Gesicki he's not like involved in the offense. He's blocking a lot more. And then, like you said, a negative game script down by 21 points, and even still only had 4 targets. So I'm just not jumping on that. I just don't feel like he's involved enough. I'm totally unless Tua is throwing for 400 yards every game, then maybe you can talk about it. But
you definitely have to be on a wait and see look with him. I had him on my dynasty team last year, and he had like a 5 or 6 game stretch where he was really hot. But obviously, the addition of Tyreek Hill is going to take away targets. Chase Edmonds is pretty good in the pass catching game. And then you got Waddle getting 19 targets. So there's going to be very few opportunities for him to really make an impact. But like I said, a shallow position. And I think Patrick had jumped in.
Oh, my God. That's a touchdown. Jeez.
And said Kyle Pitts ain't doing shit. So, but yeah, you're not taking Gesicki over Kyle Pitts. I don't think that's even an option at this point. But it's really noted. Jalen Hurts again. Oof.
Big run.
Oh my God! If Josh Allen gets another touchdown here, I'm smoked. I'm hanging on by a thread in our.
Yeah, Pitts ain't doing shit.
But I think Pitts will break out and get
It's
some
just
work.
not. I don't know. They're not involving him enough. I mean, eventually. I mean, it's still the beginning, so give him a chance to, fix things. Yeah, it hurts TD. That hurt me. That's just bullshit, bro. It's just bullshit. Anyway, Lamar Jackson. I mean, he played it. He couldn't play any better than he did. It kind of sucks that he had to lose, but
Yeah.
over 300 passing, 3 touchdowns, another touchdown on the ground, over 100 yards rushing. I mean,
Yeah,
nobody
we
else
know
got
what.
more than 6 carries. I've been saying don't mess with Kenyon Drake. 6 carries, 8 yards.
Yeah,
Which
we know what Lamar's about.
which is why you just don't know who you can play. And we saw Mike Davis as the guy at the goal line, so it's just you just can't play anybody there in the
Oh my
back.
God, Diggs again.
No.
Yep.
Touchdown?
Yep.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, I have Josh Allen, but it's just I can't catch up. Can't fucking catch up.
They're up
Toast in the
massive.
other league.
I really
Yeah.
hope they put Josh Allen on the bench now.
It doesn't matter. He's got 40 points, but Diggs has got 40 points too. And I'm down. I was down. It's just fucked. All
I
right.
am crazy.
Yeah, that's just bullshit, bro. Bullshit. 41 fucking points. I might be fucked in your league with Dak.
Yeah, I got the win in my league. Yeah, I'm in good shape there. It's just your league.
All
I'm
right.
hanging on.
All right, Bateman over 100.
Yeah,
Mark Andrews obviously had a good day. We expect that. Isaiah Likely even with 4 for 43. But yeah, Bateman 4 for 108. I mean, he's just catching.
He's a player.
I've been talking about him since last year because I had him on my dynasty team. I let him go.
You did.
I
Duvernay.
let him go.
Duvernay's a player too.
Yeah,
he had the kickoff return to open the game.
Yeah, he only had 2 targets though. So Duvernay's not a guy that I'm playing. You can plug him in, I guess, if you need to, with injuries or buys. But he's not a guy. He's not a guy that you want to play.
No, but he can make plays.
Yeah, he can. He can catch a bomb. I got her. Yeah, it's all good, bro. It's over now with this. It's over.
Steve resigned himself to the fact that he's.
I'm just the Viking. I'm just a Viking fan in general. So that's why that's pissing me the fuck off. So I'm just a Vikings fan in general, and they just let Hurts just waltz in like somebody should have popped his ass. But all right, so yeah, that's Baltimore again. Stay away from the backfield. We're not picking up anybody. Wide receivers, I'm still advising don't play Duvernay.
Mark Andrews had a
hammer if you want, but likely is a good guy to have on the bench, especially if Mark Andrews ever goes down.
Mark Andrews had a one of those games.
Yeah. All right. Falcons and Rams, which actually turned out to be a good game to the end.
Yeah,
there.
it did.
But yeah, what do you think about fantasy wise? What happened in that?
Yeah,
game?
I think we both picked the Rams here. We felt pretty good about that. Allen Robinson, okay, that's what you're looking for. I think he had another touchdown.
Yeah. He should have had 2 touchdowns. That's right.
So you like that? That's a positive sign. I don't want to be a negative guy with Allen Robinson because I considered him in a ton of leagues, and I felt like he had good value for where he was going in a lot of leagues. I think a lot of people forgot about him. But he only had how many targets, Blanc? 7 targets?
He had 5. Well, I guess could have been 6 with the 2 touchdowns, but yeah.
So still,
he had 5. Yeah, Kupp still is dominating, 14 targets. I mean,
yeah, even still, because think about it, a lot of those targets felt like they came on those first 2 drives or so. So, like I said, I don't want to be negative with Allen Robinson. It was a good bounce back game from a fantasy standpoint, but I definitely want to see him more involved consistently throughout the game. Should have had 2 touchdowns, but, it is what it is. Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, hello, burst onto the scene. I think he had 15 carries. He wasn't very efficient with the carries, but, You know, we talked about this Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers business, and we said if Cam Akers ever got on the field, you know, it could cause a problem, and you don't know where they're going to go with that. So obviously that kind of came to fruition in this particular game. Cooper Kupp is just awesome. And I think we had somebody on our Saturday night show that made a trade for Cooper Kupp. And that's exactly why you trade for Cooper Kupp, because he can do this on a pretty consistent game by game basis. So that was a nice pickup by one of our listeners. And yeah, for Atlanta, Drake London, really good again. Cordero Patterson. I don't have the exact numbers for Patterson. Well, you got the numbers on Patterson?
Yeah, 10 for 41 on the ground. No catches. So 10 for 41. I mean, they were playing catch up, I guess. But Algier had 10 carries as well. 10 for 30 for Algier.
Which you like. So yeah, once again, even though they were down, Mariota wasn't spectacular. He only had 18 and some change, 17 out of 26, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions though. That's the one thing about Mariota, and he lost a fumble on the ground. 6 carries though for him. I feel like he's one of those guys that, if you're in a pinch, I do like him. But my biggest takeaway is Drake London really starting to take off a little bit. And I think he could be one of those guys that, especially as the season wears on, he can just absolutely take off.
Oh, Irv Smith, you dropped it. My bad. Irv Smith, you. Oh, my God.
He pulled the Christian Watson out there. He really did. I'm looking up and I see it.
Finally getting my boy involved.
Yeah, so the biggest takeaway from this, from the Falcons standpoint, was Drake London just really continuing to get comfortable, and Marcus Mariota finding him for a really nice day.
Jesus. But yeah, Drake London looks good. It looks like he's getting a ton of targets. Pitts is not getting the targets. Hopefully
that's more surprising than anything.
Hopefully they change that. And if the coach is like, oh, well, we're just trying to win. Like,
yeah, you win by getting that guy.
We're just trying to win. Like, if you want to win, then you get one of your best players the damn ball, or find a way to get him the damn ball. So
yes, absolutely.
That I didn't like. But other than London, there's no other receivers out there. I mean, obviously, Pitts you're starting pretty much every week, but you don't like what you're seeing so far. Patterson is going to be a kind of hit or miss. I mean, Algier getting the same amount of carries as Patterson is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Even being in the negative game script. So Algier's a guy to look at going forward. Maybe stash him on your bench if you can.
Yeah, we did touch on Algier briefly for a little bit in the previous episode as well. So he's definitely on the radar.
Yeah, Mariota was all right. I mean, 2 touchdowns, 2 win totals. You're only playing him in 2 QB leagues, or maybe if you've got a bye week that you need to fill in.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, just on Allen Robinson real quick. Yeah, he definitely should have had that other touchdown. If you drafted correctly, Allen Robinson should be like a wide receiver 3 or a flex for you.
Agreed.
But if you've got him in your wide receiver 2 slot, then maybe, I guess it's still early. We don't want to panic yet. But yeah, the five targets is, I guess, concerning. A little bit. He did get the touchdown, and like we said, he should have had the second touchdown. So I don't know how much we take away from this,
Like I said, the thing that was more concerning for me is that, yes, you knew they were going to focus on getting him more involved, and they certainly did that in that first quarter, but it just felt like he disappeared after that. I would like to see him utilized more consistently. I mean, obviously, listen, Cooper Kupp is going to do Cooper Kupp things. We know that. But you want to see him be involved consistently throughout the game and kind of not get phased out. And then that's when you'll start to see the consistent production.
Yeah. Vikings are pissing me the fuck off. My bad. But yeah, Kupp obviously big, and I was saying be careful with Henderson. Like it could be this game. You never know when Akers is out the doghouse, and look, boom, he came out the doghouse already.
There you go.
So I was saying I don't know how ESPN had Henderson projected for like 16 points, 15 points. I'm like,
because they don't know. They have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about all that, but
I think they looked at that first game and they were like, all right, Henderson's going to be the guy. So,
yeah. So, all right, Seahawks and
Niners.
Niners.
Trey Lance.
We both went with the Niners. So
Yes,
both
we did.
went with that. Trey Lance got hurt, obviously. So go pick up Jimmy G, I guess. Not that he played great. I mean, he played good.
He played how they.
He's always going to play good. He's never.
Yeah,
he's not.
He,
You know.
he
He's
played
always,
how they needed him to play. 100%.
who got a pick six?
I don't know. Buffalo? Yeah,
Maybe.
Buffalo.
Jesus. All right. Josh Allen's done. I lost that matchup.
I hope Josh
I can't
Allen.
believe I've got Josh Allen against Diggs, and Diggs puts up the same amount of points as Josh Allen.
Because he got all the goddamn targets. No Gabe Davis. We knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, but I expected this. I expected like 40 for Josh Allen and like maybe 25, 25 for Diggs. Like that's what I was like going into, like hoping for. But yeah, right. So yeah, he gets hurt, obviously, so that sucks for him. But I guess you got to pick up Jimmy if you had Trey Lance. Now I was saying like don't trust Jeff Wilson. Don't trust Jeff Wilson. He did get the majority of the carries.
He should have had more.
Obviously, 18 for 84, but again, he wasn't getting the carries at the goal line. Just say it, whatever the hell his name was. The fullback was getting carries at the goal line.
Davis Price had double digit.
Jeff Wilson is only good for some yards. He's not getting a touchdown unless he, has a big scamper. So,
but I will say this real quick, Blanc. A couple of things to note. Davis Price got double-digit carries, but Davis Price is out with an injury now, and this looks like a multi-week injury. So, if there was ever a time to go get Jeff Wilson, also too, there goes the pick six, Jesus. And we were talking about Trey Lance being the quarterback and siphoning off some carries. Trey Lance is no longer the quarterback, so I think Jeff Wilson. If you did pick him up, I think he's worthy of being in your RB2 flex spot now.
Yeah, and then now Debo's going to start seeing a little bit more carries as well, of course.
Which is fine, but I think Jeff Wilson, you still have to find a way in the lineup.
So Jordan Mason now might get some carries if Davis Price is down. So Jordan Mason is a guy to look at and pick up on your waivers if he's available, which he probably should be in most leagues, unless you're in deeper leagues or dynasty. But yeah, Jasaic was getting whatever the fuck his name is. The fullback, Juszczyk, was getting the damn carries at the goal line, and that's what I was saying. Like, you can't trust the guys there. Yeah. And even Jeff Wilson, like I'm not really crazy comfortable, but I guess they've got nobody else, so you can still start Jeff Wilson, I guess, in the flex if you need to. But Brandon Ayuk with 8 targets. I love Brandon Ayuk.
And I think with Jimmy Garoppolo, being the quarterback now, Ayuk is going to he's going to be that guy we kind of thought he could be with Jimmy G. So Ayuk, obviously another really good play going forward.
Yeah. That's really it. There's nobody else to look at on that side. I mean, Seahawks, there's just not much to say. They did absolutely jack shit. Absolutely nothing. I mean, if you had Penny or started him like fucking I did, congratulations. We were all idiots and got fucked over. Just a negative game script from the beginning. Didn't favor anything. I mean, Gino was garbage. I mean, he got an intel. Lockett wound up leading with 9 with 107. DK did jack shit, which pisses me off again. They took back a big play he had. He had like a big 50, 60-yard catch. Just fucking mossed dude. And they wound up pulling it back on like holding or some bullshit. So
now Dallas Goedert wants to go ham.
But yeah, if you've got Penny, I mean, try and get rid of him. I'm trying to because now Walker is healthy, so they're just going to split. It's going to be very split, and they're not in a great offense altogether. So, try and come off Penny. Walker is an interesting guy to pick up if he's available. He's probably stashed on a lot of people's benches, or you probably drafted him thinking, he was going to be the guy. But that's more of a down the season play. Penny's got to get hurt. For that to happen, or Walker's just got to start churning at some point. So like we saw with Breece Hall, maybe a couple big plays, and that could favor him and lean towards his way. But
Yeah,
other than that,
he's gonna be the pass catching guy.
yeah. All right, Bengals and Cowboys. We both went with Cincy,
Yeah, we did.
and it wound up being the Cowboys. Cooper Rush wound up,
I
and
didn't
Tony
see that
Pollard,
coming.
my guy Tony Pollard,
Yep.
season, uh, really were the only bright spots really for Dallas. And
CeeDee Lamb, not bad.
Noah Brown played great with a touchdown. He looks good with Cooper Rush. CeeDee Lamb 7 for 75, but had 11 targets. So you like to see that. Like we were saying, you still got to play CeeDee Lamb regardless of the QB. You have to play him. He's a guy that you're not going to put on the bench, no matter what. So
Absolutely.
but yeah, Zeke 15 carries, didn't really look good or explosive. I mean, 53 yards. Pollard looked awesome.
Better. Yeah. I actually played Pollard in the flex in one of my leagues, and that paid dividends. I think he finished with like 15, 16 points. So, yeah, Pollard paid dividends there.
Yeah, I mean, if Noah Brown's out there, pick him up, obviously. But I think after last week, a lot of people picked him up. I don't know if he'll be available still in your league, but he's an interesting guy to play there. And as far as the Bengals, I mean, you've got Joey B. Talk to me about Joey B.
I got a lot of love for Joe Burrow, and what he did for me down the stretch last season in Dynasty carried me, along with Cooper Kupp down the stretch. So I'm not gonna sell out on Joe Burrow now. I know I was talking a lot of shit in the group chat, watching Joe Burrow just absolutely struggle. It's crazy to see now. Listen, Micah Parsons is amazing, and he was getting after it. But that offensive line looks worse than it did last year after they supposedly revamped it. So Joe Burrow definitely struggling. He didn't have any turnovers, but he took a ton of sacks, and it just absolutely drove me nuts. So he cleaned up the turnover issue.
Scary.
What happened?
It's a little scary.
Yeah, bro, it's scary. And then obviously, Jamar Chase, basically a no-show. Trayvon Diggs is not exactly a lockdown corner. You can beat this guy for, over top. But if that offensive line is giving Joe Burrow no time to find Jamar Chase down the field, there's going to be some issues. Now, they're going to get theirs, obviously, as the season goes along. And I think the numbers will bear out. But as it looks right now, it doesn't look good. Joe Burrow under 200 yards passing, only one touchdown. It was still a game, obviously. At the end, it was, 17-17, and then, Dallas came down and kicked the field goal at the end of the game. I was actually praying for a little bit of overtime so I could get some more Joe Burrow love. But, dude, it's worrying me. I know it's only 2 games. You can't hit the panic button. I traded Jalen Hurts to firmly entrenched Joe Burrow, and that's looking like it's coming back to bite me in the ass because Jalen Hurts is just doing numbers these first 2 weeks. But I'm a little worried about Joe Burrow and company. T. Higgins, solid. I think he had 5 for 70 something or 6
for 71, 10 targets,
right, and a touchdown. So you like that from T. Higgins. So T. Higgins is solid. I know a lot of people were nervous with the injury, the concussion, but T. Higgins looks good to go. So hopefully they could shore up that offensive line and get Joe Burrow going, but it has not looked the way I anticipated this going.
Yeah, I mean, people were down on T. Higgins to begin with. I mean, even I think on Sunday we had a few questions about T. Higgins.
We did. Yep.
I don't know if were you on with me or was it Bagala? I don't remember.
Yeah, Saturday night we had some T. Higgins kind of.
Saturday night we did, but it's Sunday as well. Like somebody was asking about playing T. Higgins or some other guys, and I'm like, dude, you got to play T. Higgins, and this is why. I mean, 6 for 71 at the touchdown. He can go off on any week. Hayden Hurst is another tight end to look at. If you don't have tight ends. Another 7 targets this week, 5 catches, so he's at least getting some work. But yeah, Burrow, I mean, don't panic. Just you just got to ride it out. It's all part of it. But even still, I mean, he didn't have any intos. I mean, even though he struggled the first week, he came back and tossed, a few touchdowns. So, he didn't absolutely kill you, even though with the turnovers.
But
So,
it is a little alarming the amount of sacks that are piling up, and as we go through the
yeah,
season, he could
definitely.
find himself getting banged up a little bit. So that's just
Now,
something to note.
yeah, and then Mixon, I mean, he had a bunch of carries, couldn't really get anything.
Oh, now they take Josh Allen out. Oh
Couldn't
my
really get
God,
anything
I'm gonna
going.
lose by like 2 points. Jesus
But,
Christ!
yeah. I'm going down. I'm like, this is bad for me. I'm going down. But anyway, so yeah, Mixon, I mean, obviously you're playing him, of course, just didn't have a great game. But yeah, Hurst would be a guy to look at there. What's the next
Dalton
game
Schultz, the
on
big
here?
injury to Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, the injury to Dalton Schultz. So yeah, you might have to go out and get somebody. I think they said like a PCL, so I don't know if he's going to actually miss time yet or not. I think it's too early to tell
Still a
yet.
concern.
We'll find out. But going back to Trey Lance, just touching on the rushing or getting hit by Burrow getting hit. Trey Lance, after the game, he got hurt. He said himself, he's like, I can't be running it up the middle like with my size. I mean, he's trying to run up the middle with fucking huge linemen and linebackers that are trying to take your head off. So
Right.
that was just not a smart play there. I mean, because Josh Allen does that, but he's fucking huge compared to you.
And
But all
also,
right,
too, Josh Allen's been doing it for a little while, so he kind of understands. But Josh Allen's not impervious to injury. He could still get rolled up on.
so Houston and Denver, we both went with Denver there. Obviously, they
God, that
won
was
in an
brutal.
ugly in an ugly fashion. I mean, Russ just doesn't look good. Javante looks fucking great. They just refuse to like fucking unleash him, which they need to do. But yeah, I mean, Sutton had a great game. Obviously, 7 for 122. Judy got hurt. I'm not sure what Judy's status is at the moment. What did he hurt exactly?
Let me pull that up. Judy did get hurt, and I think Sutton was definitely the beneficiary. I think both of those guys are gonna get the work, regardless, being out on the field. Judy day to day with a chest injury, chest sternum injury. They said it's not serious, and they don't think it's going to keep him out of action for a long period of time. So it's you got to kind of see what that looks like throughout the week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Javante looked great.
But if you had Judy, he only gave you one catch.
Yeah, Judy screwed you. Who you look at now that Judy is down? I think KJ Hamler's hurt as well, right?
Yep.
So you're looking at. I mean, you're not looking at great options. I mean, Hinton, I guess, Cleveland, but nobody worth like picking up. I mean, nobody stood out. It's just a bunch of
One guy I would take a look at, and now that we're talking about tight ends, Albert O could be maybe the beneficiary of some targets from a very weak position. And listen, somebody's got to get those targets. But honestly, I wouldn't do it from the standpoint of because those guys are out, pick him up. I'm more doing it because tight end so shallow. But the Denver offense just looks terrible, dude. Terrible. So,
and I think Alberto he almost had a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. There was a kind of a play in the end zone, I believe, and it got broken up. But that would have been a nice play. But yeah, I think we're starting to see little by little Melvin start carving out. I mean, Javante start carving out a little bit bigger role. I think game by game.
I mean, we kind of figured that. I think, especially Javante with the younger, fresher legs, if they see he really starts to get it going, especially with their offense sputtering,
he looks so good, bro.
If he's gonna be the lightning rod for that offense, give it to him. Fuck it.
I mean, you see him just breaking tackles like crazy. I mean, he looks really good. But moving over to the other side, I mean, Davis Mills looked just bad. I mean, Damian Pierce, it was nice to see him get 15 carries. So he's trying to earn that little flex spot. You can kind of throw him in the flex now. You can be a little bit more comfortable that he will get at least some burn. But again, he's on a bad team, so it's not a great situation there. But it's nice to see Burkhead didn't have one carry. That was good to see. Even though they kind of had to throw, but Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks 10 targets and 9 targets and 10 targets. I like that for Nico. He was one of my kind of sleepers going into this season. That could break out. But Cooks, 4 for 54, nothing crazy. He just had a bunch of targets, but nothing really much to talk about on Houston. There's nobody you're starting outside of Cooks, basically, or Pierce if you're in a deeper league in a flex or something. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think we go. And also another name you guys brought up was OJ Howard, and I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes on OJ Howard.
We only have 2 catches.
Right. So a lot of people after week 1 went out and grabbed up OJ Howard. Now, tight end, we talk about it, but pump the brakes on OJ Howard. Yeah, that was pretty much it. It was a terrible game to watch, to be honest. Denver fans are booing the Broncos after every punt.
Yeah.
And field goal, by the way.
All right. Who's next up? We only got 2 more, basically. Cardinals, Raiders.
That's another wild
one.
We
both went Raiders here.
We whiffed on that one.
Yeah, we both went LA here.
Which seemed like the right pick for a while.
Yeah, for most of the game. But I've been trying to tell y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all about David Carr. And y'all just I just feel like he could just be so much more. I don't know.
I agree, and that's why I had him, because now all the weapons are there. But
and Devontae had I think Devontae's day was horrible, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he only had like 2 catches.
So yeah, and then you've got this whoever the fuck Hollins is. Nobody gives a shit about Hollins, but Hollins is running through there like he's the fucking wide receiver 1.
I know. And he's taking away targets from my guy Renfro.
It was nice to see Renfro get 10 targets, though. That was encouraging. It was encouraging.
But the fumble was bad at the end.
Devontae 2 for 12, but he did get the touchdown, though.
Devontae will be fine. You don't have to worry about him.
He still had the touchdown. So
yeah, but if you get 8 points from
Raiders,
Devontae,
Baltimore were the 2 best. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, easily.
And then you had Waller, who had 6 for 50 with the touchdown.
Waller was good.
Nobody really you're looking to pick up there. Josh Jacobs. Jacobs had 19 for 69. Maybe Hollins, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to continue going.
I don't think so either. But
if you can spare him to pick him up, depending who you have on your bench, then do it. But don't drop a guy like Tyler Algier for Hollins. There's just the upside is there for Algier, where I don't know. I don't think that this Hollins thing is going to be something that's going to be the same going forward.
I agree. There are way too many established guys, pass catchers, particularly on that team to think about, getting Hollins in there. But he's worth a look. Like I said, one of those guys that, when he pops on your screen, excuse me, when he pops on your screen, you wouldn't be doing your team a good service by not keeping an eye on his production as the season wanes on, because even a guy like Hunter Renfrow last year, right? Nobody drafted Hunter Renfrow, and then he started picking up steam. Now, I know there were a ton of factors that went into that. Henry Ruggs, obviously, Devontae wasn't there, no Waller, but it's worth noting, don't rush and go out and grab him or put him in your lineup, but monitor his production as the weeks go on to see what his role starts to look like.
Yeah, it was nice to see Josh Jacob get 19 carries as well.
He's good, man. He just needs to find the end zone.
That's the thing. Yeah, can he find the end zone? So Derek Carr he looked all right. 2 touchdowns, no intos. He didn't have bad numbers. I just feel like
Could be
I
more.
don't know. I just feel like he could be. I don't
He
know.
should be 303 touchdowns every game.
So I mean, yeah, it was an awesome game. I mean, Kyler Murray finally started like coming to life.
But even Kyler Murray, I know a lot of people are going to look at the end of the game and watch him run around and do his little Mighty Mouse thing. But he was underwhelming for most of that game. He had a bad turnover. He still looks a little disheveled without DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, no Rondell Moore. Hollywood was out there. Obviously, Dortch was a good pickup. We talked about Dortch on Saturday. He was definitely a good pickup. Another quick tidbit: James Conner went down early in that game.
Yeah.
So Eno Benjamin, a guy to look at as a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah, Damian Williams as well. But the thing is, Damian Williams had more yards and he had the touchdown. And Benjamin didn't, but I guess it's going to be split. I mean, he's a guy you can pick up. I don't know if you really want to just
rush him in the lineup,
rely on him, but
and I don't think
definitely's got the upside. Don't get me wrong. We don't know how split. Like it looks like it was evenly split, 8 carries and 8 carries for Williams and Benjamin.
Yeah, we don't know how long Connor is going to be out. I don't think it's supposed to be a major injury. I think it was it an ankle? I don't remember what it was. Let me just check that out real quick.
So yeah, that would be my thing, is that I'm not excited to pick up either one of those guys, because of the fact that they're going to be splitting it, and you don't know, who's going to be the guy that comes out on top. So if you're in a pinch and you need to start somebody, and you can pick up one of them, I guess, if you want. But
Connor was an ankle injury.
Yeah, so Dortch is a guy even me and Bagla were talking about on Sunday, as well as a good guy to pick up. Only 4 targets, but he made the most of them, 4 for 55, and the touch. Marquise Brown, I've got to say, has just been disappointing. I mean, 6 for 68, 11 targets, but it's just disappointing. I just feel like he should be doing more.
Yeah, but he's still a guy you gotta kind of plug in there, especially with no D-Hop.
Yeah.
Obviously,
and I feel like I think everybody, or mostly everybody, kind of got that right with Marquise Brown, because he was being drafted as like a wide receiver 3. Or a flex guy. He wasn't being drafted too high, so his price was he had a good price coming in. Zach Ertz 8 for 75 with 11 targets. I love to see that for Ertz. I think that's really it there. I mean, AJ Green had 7 targets, but I'm not saying to go play AJ Green.
Neither am I.
So so yeah. All right, so that's Arizona. All right, so this is pretty much the last one here. I guess we could talk about the Bills after this too. But Bears and Packers. Your squad. I think we both picked the Pack here.
Yeah.
But I'll let you take it away with your boys.
Yeah, it didn't look good early on, and it kind of looked more of that like stuck in the mud nonsense. As far as the pass catchers go, but overall, you kind of like the end result. I didn't really like a lot of the miscommunications on offense still. I'm still seeing some things that I don't like, especially from a Packers team that you expect to be better. But I think they're really starting to feel the loss of Devontae Adams, man. I think, Aaron doesn't really trust a lot of guys. Alan Lazard came back and caught a touchdown, which was nice to see. I think he'll be a lot more heavily involved, particularly in the red zone. Sammy Watkins came alive, so that was decent to see Sammy Watkins come alive. I'm not saying to go pick up Sammy Watkins and play him, but if Sammy Watkins is going to make a play or two big, in the games, which he had 2 really big plays. I think, what did Sammy Watkins finish with? 90 yards, 4 grabs, 90 yards, something like that.
Give me a second. I mean, even Lazard, it wasn't encouraging. The guy had like 2 catches, so I'm like, damn, like Lazard is not even like a.
Well, also,
look at the targets: 4, 3, 3, 3, 3. It was just spread out a ton. I mean, Sammy had 3 for 93. He had the big play.
Right, and I think the main takeaway here was they got ahead fairly early, so the game script was in their favor, and
Yeah.
Aaron Jones was just a man on a mission in this particular game. So if you had Aaron Jones on your team this week, that paid massive dividends. I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones was a late first, early second, somewhere in that second round range. So he paid big dividends. I think he had 35 points or something like that, over 100 yards, 3 total touchdowns. So that looks really nice. AJ Dillon fumbled it on a particular play. I know it went to Aaron Rodgers. There's a little miscommunication there. But AJ Dillon is obviously still worth considering as a flex option. But other than that, I don't know if you could play Aaron Rodgers in a 12-team league. I don't know.
I don't think anybody is playing Rodgers in a 12-team league, or you
Some
don't really
people will based off the name, but I couldn't do it. And I'm the resident Packer fan. But it's just, oh yeah, no, Pat, I'm not giving up on AJ Dillon. I do think, and I will say that I think Aaron Jones is still the more explosive home run hitter. And particularly with the lack of wide receiver depth and the lack of trusted wide receivers, I think Aaron Jones' ceiling is a lot higher than AJ Dillon.
Kirk, you piece of shit.
Oh,
you got a flag down though. God damn it, Kirk.
Yeah, that's not good. But yeah, Pat, I still like AJ Dillon. I think, especially with the game script being positive favor, he's going to get his work. He's going to get some goal line carry. So I'm definitely not worried about AJ Dillon, but I think Aaron Jones has the higher ceiling, and he's a better pass catcher. All right, Blanc, focus, lock in here.
Kirk,
so Packers, good work.
Fuck, Kirk. All right, AJ Dillon. No, of course you're not giving up on him. He's still at 18 carries. He's still at more carries than Aaron Jones. So you're definitely still playing AJ Dillon in the flex or RB2, whatever. You're not benching him at all. You're still playing him. Yeah, there's no wide receiver worth even starting, I don't believe, on the Packers. Even with Lazard back, I don't know. This was not. I know he just came back from injury, so maybe next week he gets a little bit more looks and he looks a little bit better. But yeah, we're not starting anybody really except for AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones there. That's just bad. And the Bears just look like shit. I mean, absolutely.
David Montgomery, really good though.
Fields had 70 yards passing, 7 of 11. I mean, what is that? 7 of 11 passing. I mean, if you've got Mooney or Komet,
it's over.
You've been fucking bamboozled like the rest
both
of
those guys. Yes, you have been led astray.
So we all kind of fucked up there, and I don't think any of us saw this shit coming. I mean, we expected it to be bad, like it kind of was last year. We didn't expect it to be this bad. I mean,
but even still, last year Mooney was really good and Komet was solid even without.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know what Chicago's got going on over there, but yeah, Montgomery. They were talks about Herbert kind of eating in, and we saw Montgomery just get all the carries here. So Montgomery is still the guy, so you can kind of feel good about that. At least for the backfield.
That's the only guy on the Bears offense you could play right now.
Yeah, there's absolutely nobody else to even,
I don't even think any pickups either.
No. Nothing to talk about there. I mean, all right, Buffalo and Tennessee, I mean, just a blowout. It's just like, it's like they played a high school team for the night. I don't know. But yeah, Henry 13 for 25, a touchdown though, saved the day. I think they've got Haskins in there now because it's just a blowout. They put in Malik Willis as well. 2 intos for Tannehill. When are we going to start hearing the Malik Willis chants?
We talked about this. If Tennessee stumbles out of the gate here, they're heading down. They're staring down the barrel of 0-2. If they're 0-4, 0-5. Why the hell not?
Right? Yeah, I agree. So I agree. Burks, I had Burks in a few underdog bets tonight because
he got some early work in that game. He was out there making plays.
Yeah, but it was like under over like 30 yards. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take the over on that.
Just barbecuing. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Justin Jefferson ran the wrong route. Let me see. Oh yeah, he's got to go under. He went over. Come on, JJ. Shit. Damn, Dalvin Cook. I need Dalvin Cook to have 70 rushing yards.
It's not looking
And I
good, depending
and
on
I need a
how.
touchdown for Justin Jeff. I need Derrick Henry. That one is done.
We both have Buffalo, right?
Derrick Henry. Shit, that one is done. Fuck. I need Dalvin Cook to get 3 catches, and I need Isaiah McKenzie. Fuck, he had 37 yards. I took the over on 41 yards because Gabe Davis was out, and it fucked me. But yeah, let me go back into that real quick. So yeah, I mean Burks 4 for 47, Woods 4 for 39. Nothing else really for anybody. Burks led the team in targets, so he's looking to get more and more involved now. So that's a good sign for Burks owners.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think I think if they if they get Malik Willis in there, I think that could elevate Burks a little bit just in terms of off schedule plays. I know Tannehill's more of that classic pocket guy, but it'll be interesting to see what Burks looks like if Malik Willis gets in there.
yeah. I mean Buffalo. Other than Diggs, I mean even Knox had 4 for 41. It was nice to see him get slightly involved, but this is
Yeah, it
why
was a Josh Allen to Diggs.
That's why I hate Knox. But I mean Singletary 6 for 19, 3 for 17 from Moss. They got nothing going on. I mean James Cook had 5 carries, and I'm sure that was because they're just blowing everybody out. I mean because they're blowing them out, but the Vikings just look fucking horrible.
Miles Sanders running all over the place.
And that was a big play because that could have been a touchdown or at least a field goal, and instead it's a fucking interception.
Yeah, I took the L in your league. Josh Allen just shredded me to the tune of almost 40 points. Goddard looks good today. 5 for 82 already.
Yeah, I'm taking L's in both mine and your league. I put up points though. It's just bullshit. Like Stephon Diggs went crazy, and I have Josh Allen. It just
Devontae
wasn't
Smith looks a
enough.
lot. Devontae Smith looks a lot better.
And then like I've got St. Brown and Mike Williams who went ham, but I went against Cooper Kupp and Cheetah and Jalen Hurts. So it's like, fuck, bro.
Quick note from this Eagles Vikings game: Devontae Smith is got off the schneid and he looks a lot more involved.
Yeah, he does. He started off early. They started to get him involved early, and so that is nice to see. But there's AJ Brown. Jesus.
Yeah, AJ
All right,
Brown's
this defense is so bad
Oh my goodness!
again with this
Jesus.
defense.
Oh
Jesus.
my god! Jalen Hurts is cooking, man. Jalen Hurts could be a top 5 QB this year.
Yeah, he definitely can. He's got to stay healthy too.
And I traded Jalen Hurts, and that was a mistake on my part.
But yeah, I mean, listen, the Vikings defense ain't nothing to brag about. So I don't know, bro. But
That division is going to be interesting.
yeah, I'm taking 2 L's there.
Yeah, I'm 1-2 this week.
I mean, I'm not even winning, and I'm probably gonna squeak by in Dynasty, but this is just I need a couple more points. I'm down by 2 points, 1 point, point and a quarter. But I need Dalvin, and we're down, and I don't know. It's just looking bad. But anyway, that's the week 2 review for y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already.
What do we got for Thursday? Browns Steelers. Oof.
Yeah, it's not a game I'm particularly excited about.
Yeah, me neither. I could see 20-13.
Yeah, we'll be back on Saturday like we were. I'll schedule that one, and I don't know if I'll be on Friday or not. We'll see. Just check out. Just keep a lookout for the schedule. Keep your little notifications on. But thank y'all for listening, watching,
subscribing, liking,
and commenting, and
so it looks like I outdueled you on the picks this week, eh?
Yeah, so far. I mean, unless the Vikings turn it around, we can keep a tally for the season, I guess. I know we missed the first week, but
that's fine.
it's all right. That's all right. All right, guys, we are out. These Vikings better fucking do something here.
He's over it. He's over it. Oh man. Yeah, the Eagles put that work on.
Just letting him, like, he's not that good.
Apparently. This almost feel reminiscent of when Stephon Diggs went to Buffalo?
What?
Where you just didn't know if Jalen Hurts was a good quarterback or not, and then he got a really good receiver, and it was like, yeah. Okay.
Yes and no. I mean, we knew that Josh Allen could play, though. That's the thing, and he had a.
Hang on. Look at Josh Allen's statistics and his overall passing. Before Stephon Diggs got there, he was like a 55% quarterback. God, that's terrible. Yeah.
NFL absolutely it was.
I looked at him more as a Cam Newton kind of guy that, he's really big, he's got a strong arm, but he's not the most accurate, and he'll get you the rushing and the goal line touchdowns, and that's going to be his upside. And as soon as when Stephon Diggs got there, he just went to another.
Yeah, but I still felt like Josh Allen could throw the ball, though, even though his statistics weren't great. Like,
I understand, but
the whole Bill situation was just fucked from the jump, obviously. But I don't know. He wound up working out. Look at him now.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is obviously he can
work.
Play. Blocked field goal. Let's go, Vikings D.
Here we go. Are they returning that? They returning that?
No.
Are they returning that?
He's down at like the 30. I'll take it though. Let's get some Dalvin Cook in there, baby.
Yeah.
I only need like 2 points. I got some defensive guys playing that should secure the win for me regardless. But that's big. Patrick.
Yeah, that could be a game changer. It's only 17. You get a touchdown here. Start making the Eagles a little nervous.
That's what I'm saying. If we could come out with a touchdown here, get another stop, get the ball back, I mean, we're
Patrick Peterson.
We're at least looking good.
Still getting busy.
Yeah, let's go. All right. But yes, I should take the win in Dynasty. I'm losing in the other two leagues. I'm putting up points. I'm just playing the wrong fucking teams right now. That's my problem, bro.
My Dynasty team let me down.
The guy's about to put up 200 on me. And then, even this one now, it was like, I was down by 8, and this person had Diggs, and I had Josh Allen. And I'm like, all right, I should be all right unless Diggs goes for like 30, 40, and that's exactly what happened.
There goes Dalvin.
All right. But, all right, I'm out of here. We out of here. Stay tuned for the schedule. We'll definitely be on Saturday. I'll let y'all know if we are on anywhere else during the week. If y'all like betting, go to Underdog Fantasy, get the app, or go to the website. They'll match up to the $100 up to for your first deposit. Code Dynasty Life Fantasy. Check us out there. If you don't follow us on Instagram, check us out on Instagram as well, Dynasty Life Fantasy. And you can also catch me on the Fantasy Football Network if you sign up for their website or app. Use the code SCOUT. You get 50% off. That's exclusive fantasy content for all 32 NFL teams. But otherwise, I'm here with y'all. I'm going to argue with y'all the whole time next live.
We love it. Bring it on.
But yeah, all right, we out of here.